Hi, Stamper fans. Welcome to Make It With Me. Thanks for joining me, whether you're watching on Facebook or if you're catching the replay on YouTube. I'm really glad you're here. I'm Nan, and I help people slow down, get creative, and stay connected, whether that's gathering together to craft or you sending handmade card that means something. So let's make something fun today. Okay. So if you're not familiar, I've just started the Make It With Me series, and I will post the measurements ahead of time. So if you got this ahead of time and you cut everything, you can kind of make it along with me. If not, don't panic, sit back and relax, and you can just watch the replay again and catch all of the measurements and make it along with me the second time. All right? No pressure. So today I am making a thank you card, which are so handy. I feel like these are kind of a lost art, so let's bring them back because I think people really appreciate it. Just relax and follow along. Like I said, we're aiming for finished, not perfection. All right. So today I am using the Gears and Textures bundle. You will see a lot of that this month. This is my featured bundle for the month. So this is the stamp set. This is the die set. Absolutely. If you don't have this on hand, you can use whatever you do have on hand tonight and just kind of layer it along with me. I love steampunk, which is one of the things that just gravitated me towards this set. I am in the steampunk studio right now, and our team name is even the Steampunk Stampers. So I definitely love steampunk. If you're not familiar with steampunk, it's basically a combination of like Victorian time kind of aesthetic with mechanical technology. So lots of gears and metallics and things like that. Really, really fun. If you're not familiar with it, Google steampunk and you'll get the idea. All right. So I love that this bundle can be used together seamlessly like we're going to tonight, but it also makes great projects with just the stamp set or just the die set. And you'll be seeing that throughout the month. So as I make things. All right. So let's get started making. That is my sample card. We are going to start, I'm starting at least with a basic gray card base that is 8.5 by 5.5. Move my die cut over there. There we go. And then I have a layer of Smoky Slate that is a little smaller than I usually cut that first layer. This one is 5 by 3 3/4. And that was just to give me a wider border around that layer, just for a little variety. Then I've got a layer of basic black, and this one is 4 1/4 by 2.5. So those are the basic elements of our card. Then I've got some things I'm going to be doing some die cutting out of, and I'll show you those measurements and whatnot in a little bit. But this is the basic layering. So, and what's really nice is I think you'll find this layout will be very flexible for you to use with lots of different stamp sets, lots of different dies, lots of different colors, lots of different occasions. So keep these measurements on hand. I have put them down here so you can take a screenshot. Hello, Penny. You can take a screenshot so you remember the measurements, and then you can swap colors and cardstocks and all sorts of things in and out as you choose. Okay. So card base, as I said, is 8.5 by 5.5. I've got it scored at 4 1/4, just like regular. You'll find if you have been following me for a hot minute that I tend to use basic measurements, basic cards. I don't do a lot of fancy, weird, oddly shaped things. Those are fun to do, absolutely, as a one-off, but you know, if you're limited on time or you're limited on imagination, you know, maybe your brain's overwhelmed. I know mine does get that way. It's nice to just have something simple to go back to, right? So, all right, let's take our Smoky Slate layer. And with this one, we are going to grab our stamp set. And our stamps are all photopolymer now, and I have actually, I have actually taken mine and stamped on vellum and then laminated that. And I'll do a video on that as well so you can see. But that gives me all of the images. So if I take one off, I know exactly where it goes. I know exactly what's missing. and it also sticks to it because it's laminated. So I am lucky enough to have a laminator at home because my husband knows I love office things and I love gadgets. So he's a good guy. All right, so we're going to use this little chevron stamp to just add a little interest to the left side of our card. We'll grab our Memento Tuxedo Black. And we are just going to start at the top and work our way down. One of the great things about photopolymer stamps is that you can see right through them, so they're a little easier to line up. And again, not aiming for perfection. You'll notice that mine are somewhat unevenly spaced, and that is okay. I'm going to keep going one more so it goes right off the cardstock. Voila! That was easy. I should have my button over here. All right, so that's our little chevron. That's actually all the stamping we're going to be doing from this stamp set this time. You'll see lots more examples throughout the month of this. Like I said, I absolutely love this whole bundle. It is totally my vibe. Okay, so we've got our Smoky Slate layer. We've got our little chevron pattern. We can go ahead and attach this one. So if you're following along, you can put some kind of fun little texture thing down the left side there. And then attach that layer to your card base. And again, if stamping in time with somebody is a little too much pressure, you can just sit back and kind of go, okay, I'm going to review this. And then I'll go back and watch the replay and stamp along. Because then you can also pause it and rewind it, which is super simple. Super nice. Okay. So now we have our little black layer. We're not going to do anything to this one. We're just going to attach it because all of the fun is going to come next in the die cutting. Okay, now we've talked about this before, and I know my husband and I have. This is a blank piece of cardstock. It is the same color on both sides. It's the same color all the way through. And yet, this is like the top to me, so I had to flip it over to put the glue on. It's so silly. It's not stamped on, it's nothing, and yet we flip it over. Russ and I both do that, so. And I think I have asked my other stamper friends if they do it too, and I think they do. Penny, if you're able to, you can pipe in there and tell me if you do that as well. Okay, what do we got next? See, I wrote notes and I'm already all over the place. Oh, I wanted to mention as well that the idea for this card came from our website. So when I looked up this particular bundle, there are, I am so silly. Thanks for noticing. There are always samples on our website. So if you look up a particular stamp set or a bundle or a suite of products or anything like that, they will usually have 2 or 3 or more cards, samples on there. So one of the samples had a similar color scheme and kind of this vibe to it. And so I basically just took that as a jumping off point and made it, you know, the regular size, because I think it was a smaller square card. It had some embossing on it with metallics, which you'll definitely see this month, I'm sure. But I wanted to make this one a little simpler, so I didn't do the embossing. So, but if you go check the website out, you will see that it's a very same, similar vibe. See, Penny, you do it too. I know, we're all so silly, aren't we? Okay, so next, right? We've done that. We've done that. Let's see. We attached the black piece. And so now we're on to die cutting metallics. So one of the things I wanted to mention was, if you notice, we've got both silver and gold foil on here. And it's okay to mix your metallics. I actually have another one that's like an earth tone. It kind of looks like a deep, deep copper, maybe. Really love that. But I thought I would just stick with 2 on this one. But yeah, you can totally mix metals, okay? So don't be afraid of that. All right. So I have 2 little pieces of one silver, one gold foil. These are 3.5 by 3, but really just anything that's going to get you your die cuts. So if you want to do scraps, you can do that as well. Now, these pieces are pretty detailed. So while I did not use it on all of them when I did my sample, I definitely want to do it today because it'll make it easier. I was using liquid glue to get these, and if you can see these tiny little screw heads, that was pretty tricky. So instead, I'm going to make my life easier, and I'm going to use our adhesive sheets to turn these into tiny little stickers. So much less messy, so much easier. I absolutely love them. And I don't know why I keep forgetting. So silly. So what I normally do, sorry for bumping you, is on the back side, you will see there's a couple of spots where you can peel. So there's 2 of those. So it's easier to peel. And then this side is sticky. Okay. So I will peel back. Actually, you know what? This is 6 inches across. So I think I'm going to peel back all 3 of these for a minute. Da-da-da-da. And then I'm going to stick these on here. Hello, hello, Joan. Good morning, evening. So I'm going to stick those on. And because I'm frugal, that's what we're calling it. We're not calling it cheap or miserly. We're saying I'm frugal. If you kind of put that top sheet over, and just grab your trimmer and line it up because you can see right through there. And now I've got that whole sheet of adhesive sheets still ready to go. And these are all good. And now I can do some die cutting. Now, the other thing about working with metallics is if you have ever tried to die cut metallics, a lot of times your plates that you're using, like they'll have the imprints from other die cuts on them, and they leave scratches on the surface of your metallics, and then they don't turn out quite as smooth and shiny as you like them. So the way to help fix that or minimize that is, so you have your base, and you have your base plate, you have your metallics, and then what you want is just a piece of copy paper, and you'll put that on top of your metallics and then your other base plate or your clear plate. And then that will help keep those scratches from your metallics. So if I have taught you anything tonight, I hope that that's new for somebody, because it's a big deal. Because I know I was always getting frustrated that my metallics weren't smooth and shiny. All right, so we're going to take that big gear. We'll put them over in the corner. What else we have? This guy is also silver. And then we want a couple of screw heads. Those are tiny. I've already lost it. Uh-oh. I heard it hit the ground. There it is. Because that's a really tiny one. So I'd have been looking for a while for that. It's like literally so small. So we'll just pop that on there. All right. And for the gold, we have this kind of solid one. We have this standard kind of gear, and then we have a smaller one. Okay, so we will put our copy paper on top of that. We'll put our clear plate on top of that whole thing. We'll run it through. I've got you guys kind of close to my work surface, so I'm not going to put the machine under the camera. So I think it'll be too close. Anyway, yes, the copy paper. I rarely remember to do that either, but I really wanted these to turn out nice and smooth. So I will say that my dies tend to stick to the copy paper, I've noticed, which is fine. So don't worry about that. And then some of them didn't, which is also fine. And you're also, on this particular card, I'm left with a nice, I don't know, is that a plug nickel? Nice little silver disc that I'll probably use on a different project. We've got our solid one there. I also, when things are this detailed, I tend to run the die cut through front ways through the machine, and then once it's through, I roll it backwards again. So it goes through at least twice, and I always find that the cuts are better. See how smooth that is? It's so nice. I love this copy paper trick. Super helpful. Alrighty. And then, of course, popping all of these out is always fun, right? It's the only thing about detailed dies, right? You got to do a little extra work for it, but it's always worth it because the look is just fabulous. I need my pokey tool. All righty. And my screw head. So I do have to cut 2 screw heads. So I'm going to have to send that one through again. And the funny thing is you have a tiny, tiny, whoops, plus sign. So if you want to keep that, I'm not going to. But if you want to use that as well, you can. So there we go. I mean, it is really a tiny little screw head. But I do love the look of it, and I really loved it after I put it on. I thought, yeah, that's definitely worth it. But as I said, I forgot to use my adhesive sheets when I did it the first time, so I had to put that on with a little bit of liquid glue, and that was not as fun. I had sticky hands. All righty. My little screw head there. Now I've got 2 of them. Yeah, I actually already made another card with this stamp set that you will see next week, which I was pretty excited about. Okay. I'm just going to throw all these on here and clean them up later. You also have these fun little wedges. They're like Trivial Pursuit wedges. So I suppose you could cut that out and make your own little Trivial Pursuit game, couldn't you? The teensy ones always get you. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we need those. So I can actually start with these. We'll see if I can do it with my nails. Sometimes you need to get your pokey tool out and separate the adhesive sheets. And it looks like I'm going to need it for this one. It's just too tiny. The other ones will be simpler, I promise. Ah, there it goes. Okay. So we'll put those up in our corners. Yeah, I think it's actually easier to just kind of keep, oh yeah, that came off right away. So it's nice. You just peel the backing off and basically it just turns it into a sticker. So it's much easier to get those on there than trying to fuss with your liquid glue and all that. Now this guy, I'm actually going to leave the backing on because I don't want him to be, I want him to be adhered with dimensionals. So I'm going to take my mini dimensionals and just pop one in the middle, and then I'll pop some around the outsides. But this way I don't have to cut regular size dimensionals down because these sides are a little smaller than regular dimensionals. Get all those backs off. Okay, so this is the first one I will adhere. About half on, half off of that black piece, and then we will just start alternating some gold and silver. Tuck them in a little bit. Another thing you can do if you want to really get good adhesion with your adhesive sheets, and I want to kind of make those gears look like they're actually working, right? You can take one of your blocks because it's nice and smooth and just kind of rub it over, burnish that, and that will help the adhesive sheets adhere really well. So this one I'm going to overlap. And this is another thing, even with the adhesive sheets, you can do that kind of dry fitting where just don't peel the adhesive backing, off and just lay everything down where you want it. And then you can just pick them up one by one, peel the backing off and stick them down. All righty. So now we will move on to our little sentiment layer. And I wanted to add a little extra something. Where's mine? There we go. So I have a little strip of white here. And I do want this to have adhesive sheets on the back because we are going to do a little bit of die cutting again. So with this one, I think I'll just take scissors since I'm not cutting it all the way across. All right. I always save all of my little bits of like adhesive sheets. So if I have little, little bits, basically, I always save them because if you're cutting out something like this, it's nice to have just little leftover scraps of those. This design is so me. You're right. Well, we had a prior set that had, it was a car themed, but it had a lot of gears on it too. And oh my gosh, I could absolutely love that one. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do out of this is I'm going to die cut this cool kind of diamond plate bit out of one end. For that, I do not need my copy paper because it's not metallic. It's just a basic white piece. All right. I probably need my boker. So it's got all of these little diamondy guys come out of there. The other reason I run my dies when they're detailed like this, especially if I've got adhesive sheets on them, I run them through 2 or 3 times is because the adhesive sheet is basically another layer you're trying to get through. So make sure you're not frustrating yourself and just, run it back and forth 2 or 3 times. And you can always line up your die and run it through again if you need to. Okay, so we've got this really cool guy and it's got adhesive on the back already, so I don't need to worry about it. Then on the other end, we're going to stamp our sentiment. So you may have noticed in the stamp set, there is no sentiments. So I grabbed the Banner Sayings stamp set. Words are hard, especially on Mondays. But this one has a lot, like if you don't have a lot of sentiments, this is a great one to have in your arsenal because you've got, you are loved, I'm so grateful, consider yourself hugged, which anybody that knows me personally knows I'm a big hugger. You're the sweetest, wishing you good things, I can't thank you enough, happy birthday, and here's to you. And those are all in like regular typeface kind of. And then you've got the script ones that are you did it, cue the confetti, I'm here for you, celebrate, thanks a million, and sending my love. So you've got a lot of occasions covered in this one stamp set. It's really so versatile. I'm going to grab the thanks a million because I love these script fonts. And we're making a thank you card. So thanks a million, right? So then I have to find it. But there it is. I have not, so this is how your photopolymer stamps normally come. So you'll notice there's no image on the backing. So that is what I was talking about, how I stamped the entire, basically I took this clear sheet off, inked up the whole thing, and stamped it on vellum. So it was in the exact same order that it came in. And then I would go ahead and laminate that vellum, and then I would have something to stick these on that had the image. And like I said, I will do a video about that as well, so you can see it completely start to finish. All righty, grab our Memento black again. And I'm going to stamp this pretty close to the edge. Nice. And again, I'll clean that up afterwards. I got a mess going, you guys. I mean, it's hilarious. I'm only using one ink pad and like one bundle and still got a big mess going. All right. So I will just cut this really close. Now this one, I'm going to peel the backing off. And I obviously could have done this with regular adhesive, but because I was putting the adhesive sheets on the other one, I figured why not? So we've got kind of just a white on white layered effect with that diamond plate in the back. And now I want to add a little more texture. And I realized that this gorgeous cloud cover ribbon, it's like 5/8 of an inch thick. It really is very neutral and it goes pretty well with all these silvers and grays, I thought. So I'm going to just cut myself off a piece here. We're going to fold it over. So here's a little trick too. So I want it to be probably about that big. If you flip this side, then you can cut them the same way. But when you flip it back, they'll be opposites. So a lot easier. You can just do them at the same time and not have to think about which way is which. Okay, so now on my sample, I used Tear and tape to put these together, but I found that it didn't hold as well. And so I think the liquid glue is really going to be the way to go on this because it's going to seep into the fibers. So I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue in here and we will hold that down with the block and give it a chance to set for a minute. And I obviously cut too big of a piece, so that'll be for my next card. I was a little ambitious on that one, guys. So I don't know if this will give you guys a chance to catch up if you are making along with me. If you're not, again, like I said, you can always go back and catch the replay or just look at the sample now that you've kind of seen it go through and make your own as you want. I would love to see what you've come up with. So if you want to post a picture in the comments on this video, that would be great. All right, the liquid glue is just not working. So let's see, I think we'll pull out our tear and tape then. I'm just kind of figuring out what's going to be covered up. See, so like I said, we're aiming for finished, not perfection, right? We will put a little bit of tear and tape there. All right, so we have learned today that liquid glue is not the way to hold your ribbon together. We're going to use the other piece of ribbon. See, that's why I cut it too long. Okay, so first, cut those ends like we did. So I've got my one end here. I'm going to twist it, right? And then I can cut the other end exactly the same way. And then when I twist it regular, it'll be opposite. So which way do we think? Do we think this way? Yeah, I think I am going to do it that way. All right, now let's take our tear and tape. We'll put it in the middle. It does not want to stick to that today, and I swear I did it yesterday, no problem. Guys, you're making me look bad in front of my friends. I think part of it is because my hands are sticky. There we go. Okay, sit, fold it over, squeeze that tight. We should be good. Okay, so much mess. This guy we want. So now we'll take the adhesive sheets off the back of my little diamond plate piece, and that'll go right over our pretty ribbon. Like, how awesome is that? So this particular little layer thing, not with the ribbon, I don't think, but this sentiment over the diamond plate was on the sample I looked at, and I really liked that. So, okay, now to attach our ribbon to our card, I wanted to give it some height. So I'm actually going to take our a bit of our dimensionals, pop that right on the back here. And that one stuck no problem, so just so you are aware. Voila. Oh, one last thing. Because we need some bling, don't we? I'm only going to use one rhinestone in the center of that big gear because it just feels a little naked in the middle there. Now we're good. Da, 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 da. So it looks like I put everything up a little higher on the one I did tonight. Both of them are gorge, right? Very cool. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely love this. Like, you can imagine adding jewels and things to all of these. You could run them through embossing folders and make them very textured. You could emboss them, all sorts of fun things you can do with this stamp set and dies. And like I said, you can use just the stamps or just the dies, and there's so much versatility to this. Thank you. And also, this is a great, like, more masculine card. So if you, even if you have a friend, a woman friend that's like, I'm not really big on flowers, like, this would be really cool, like, punked out way to thank her, right? So, but for all the guys in your life as well, these are fabulous tools to work with for that. So let's see. Anything else I wanted to mention? Oh yeah, if this is a style that you like, this will be our class for February, is the Gears and Textures. So you'll be making 4 cards with this bundle. I have not figured out a digital version yet, so, but hopefully I will soon. But if you're in the Bloomington Normal area, or if you'd like to be on February 27th, we'll be doing this. All right. So again, if you have something that you came up with tonight, please post it in the comments here. So I'd love to see what you came up with. And also, don't stop there, because the connection really comes when you send the card. So get an envelope out, address it, sign that card, and pop it in the mail tomorrow and make somebody's day. Okay? All right. Thanks so much for spending part of your day with me. I hope you'll take what we made and turn it into a card you actually send. I'll put more details and links in Tuesday's email. So if you have not subscribed yet, that link is in the description. And I'll see you again soon. Happy stamping.